back to the Wandcast, the chapter-by-chapter reread of the Harry Potter series with a proud craft brew on the side. I'm Aaron, and I'm here with my two very favorite Hufflepuffs, Nate and Jade.
Hello.
Hey.
How you guys doing?
Hey.
I had a good holiday break. I'm just excited to get back into this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all sound like we agree with that.
Is there more intro to do?
There is. On this episode, we are going to be foreseeing our way into Chapter 6 of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Talons and Tea Leaves.
You know what I just realized that I really appreciate about the Harry Potter books is that each of the chapters has a fucking name for it.
Yeah, not just Chapter 6.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And on our other podcast, the Sword of Truth podcast, if you haven't listened to that, you totally should. There are no names for the chapters. So we're just like, it's 67, as if everybody knows, like, oh, yes, the great chapter 67 of whatever book.
But
it's
hey,
like, no,
that's how you get to name chapters like Bloody Blowy.
that's true.
That's-
We do
that's
get
what
to
happened,
name them,
yes.
Yeah.
and we do, and
Yeah.
they're fun.
But before we do get into this chapter, I wanted to make a real quick clarification on something we previously talked about back in episode 1. Bill Weasley has been working in Africa/Egypt since book 1 as a curse breaker.
So another way you could say that was he's been working there the whole time.
Yes.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I know we were kind of discussing why,
Yeah.
like, why is someone from Gringotts working at these pyramids? He's been doing it for 3 years.
Because Gringotts is pilfering the fucking pyramids and taking all of the money. That's what's happening here.
Kind of feels like something's going on here.
Yeah.
Where'd the gold go?
Why else would a bank have any type of interest in this shenanigans?
Yeah.
In curse breaking? Why?
Curse breaking to that way they know how to break the curses they put in the bank. But a curse breaker at Gringotts should never leave Gringotts.
That's yeah. Why is he
well,
been working?
other than to go home.
Why is he working?
But-
Been working in Egypt this
Yeah.
whole time? What's
Yeah.
he breaking curses for?
Something's not right.
Shiesty.
I think we should keep an eye on that.
I mean, the obvious answer here is money, right? You break the curses to get to the money.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But
He's
that's
the magical equivalent to Indiana Jones.
okay. I like that.
I mean,
I do like that.
You know, you get in there like, hey, I found the treasure. I'm just going to keep this stack of gold I found, but you guys can have like the magical artifacts to study or whatever.
I'm going to be real honest. I've heard so many things, read so many posts of like, we should get a Marauders prequel series. We should follow the founders in a prequel. No, I want Bill and Charlie Weasley.
Yeah.
Give me a series following those two.
Fuck yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah. What the fuck are we doing?
You know, I mean, it's something we've talked about. I mean, eventually it's going to happen, but we've been talking about taking the book series that we've been reading through and reforming them to fit like a D&D campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Bill and Charlie Weasley.
We're curse
fucking-
breaking and dragon taming.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
God, that sounds so fun. Harry Potter.
Harry Potter is at Hogwarts now, right?
He's at Hogwarts, and we are day 1, morning 1, breakfast 1. We're
day one.
We're in the Great Hall, and like you would hope any first day of school would start, Harry is getting made fun of by Draco, Pansy, and the other Slytherins because he fainted on the train.
Yeah, it's not a good. I mean, I don't want to be the guy to be like, it's not a good look, man. But if you're the only guy that fainted when the scary thing happened, arguably an actual fucking scary thing happened,
Mm-hmm.
but then you're coming into a brand new year at school. Y'all have been to fucking school. You know what that's like.
Yeah.
That has got to be torture. And now you've given all the ammunition to your enemy, is what he's done. It's not good for him.
And the worst part is Harry likes school. So it's not
Yeah.
like he's like, oh man, school. And then it gets worse. He's like, finally something good. And then, yeah, fucking Draco.
You know
Yeah,
what?
and it
you know
gets
what,
all
Draco?
fucked up for him.
I stabbed a giant snake last year, so maybe I faint sometimes. Have you ever
Yeah.
fucking stabbed a giant
Yeah,
snake?
everyone faints sometimes.
Yeah.
It's fine, Draco.
Draco.
Well, we get to George Weasley passing out the schedules or timetables, depending on which version you're listening to or reading. And George, he overhears Draco talking, and the twins mention how Malfoy was 100% just a little bitch on the train because he was running away from the Dementors.
Yeah, you want to know part of that either.
I would have loved George to have like yelled over, like defended Harry in front of the school and been like, oh yeah, Draco, how did you feel about them Dementors?
Harry might have passed out, but you know what else Harry did? He fucking stared the thing down before he passed out.
Yeah.
He let it come to him. He didn't like run away from it like you did. So arguably, even if Harry did pass out, he's tougher than you are.
He didn't pass out from fear. It was a bodily reaction.
We were talking about this a little bit beforehand. This makes me question how annoying or how much of a get Malfoy is to the general Hogwarts population. Like, we get
how
like
fucking annoying he is all the time.
The twins, they say they know who Draco is. But is it just Harry that Malfoy is a complete menace? And then for everyone else, Draco's just like, yeah, I mean, he's kind of annoying, but it's whatever. Like, is it just because it's only Harry's perspective? Does someone in Ravenclaw just like Draco? Yeah, he's that blonde kid in Slytherin. I literally know nothing about him.
I think it's got to be the way that Draco holds himself. We know his family. We know his family has money. They're important. They're involved in things. He's always telling everybody how I'm going to tell my father about this, you know, and he's that annoying kid who says shit like that. But it's not just a Harry thing. He'll treat everybody like that.
Well, let me clarify. The reason I'm asking that is because do the twins know how much of a menace Malfoy is to Harry, or is Malfoy a menace to everyone? Is that why the twins don't say anything? Because they're just like, oh yeah, Malfoy is just annoying. But to Harry, Malfoy is the fucking arch enemy.
I think that's it. I think that they know that Draco is their little brother's like nemesis or whatever. Yeah, he's a fucking annoying kid. But yeah, to the general populace, I think he is just that kid in class who's a pompous little twig, and you're just like, whatever. Most people probably just roll their eyes when they see Malfoy, but he's a giant figure to Harry and Ron. So that is probably why. But okay. I still think if you're an older kid and, you know, your brother and his friends are getting picked on by the pompous little dick from the other class, I'd probably say something.
Okay. You are old enough to recognize that this little kid with a rich dad is just a dumb fuck. Yeah. And he's not really scary. Harry and Ron come in. He's their equal peer with a rich dad who's mean. And so he's a much bigger, he's bigger in their
little world.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, what the fuck would Draco's dad be able to do to you if you just told Draco how it is?
Yeah.
And made him feel shitty in front of the whole school. He ain't gonna do dick.
Now, at this point, embarrassment's the only way you could hurt him.
Right.
So fire back, baby.
Right.
Fire back.
Right.
Okay, that's kind of how I was thinking. I was like, I don't think they fully understand that Draco is that important in a bad way to Ron and Harry. I think they just like, whatever, yeah, he's annoying.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, step up. Step up.
Yeah.
Anyway, like we kind of want him to do with Draco and step in, George kind of steps up here and tells Harry that he shouldn't feel bad for passing out because their dad has been to Azkaban, and he said it was the worst place he's ever been. He never wants to go again. So, like, passing out's not that big of a deal?
Yeah, I mean, the guards have an effect on people.
Oh, yeah.
This is something that, I mean, everybody has a reaction. Harry just had a strong one. That's not his fault, necessarily.
And plus, it's Gryffindor versus Slytherin for the first Quidditch match. So, hey, you'll be able to take out your frustrations on him pretty soon here.
I love that it's just assumed that nobody's going to be better than Harry. Like, we have auditions every year, but we are all going to be on the team, for sure.
Yeah, there's supposed to be Quidditch tryouts every year, I think.
Yeah.
We don't hear about them.
Again, until Harry is, like, the captain of the team, I think.
He's a main character of the book series. He's going to make the team.
Yeah. Oh, no, I think we hear about it when Ron wants to join the team. That's the next time that we hear about Quidditch tryouts at all.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, if you think about it, too, the first book, right? He's gifted a broom.
Nimbus 2000.
Nimbus 2000. So that he can do the thing which we've already discussed. Nobody signed a parental form for.
No
like,
permission slip needed for Quidditch.
Play Quidditch hundreds of feet in the air. And that's like not even a thing. But if you go to town. Anyways.
Yeah, Hogsmeade.
So before Harry even showed up at the school, this was going to happen. So he has an auto into the team permanently.
Oh, yeah.
He ain't trying out.
I just think about that second year Gryffindor student, right? who came to school this year.
He's been
right?
training his
He's
whole
been
life.
training his whole life. He's
to
been like,
be
I'm going to be a fucking
Gryffindor seeker.
That's all I want to be in my life. I couldn't do it last year, okay? And then Harry somehow... No, Harry wasn't even there last year, right? So I couldn't do it last year. I was first year. I could not try out.
Right.
Cool. I got my in this year. I'm going to fucking do it. Before tryouts even fucking happen, this first year wanders in and he gets your spot and he didn't even have to fucking try.
Yeah.
And your shot just goes out the window.
And then every year after that, every other Gryffindor that came in hoping to be Gryffindor seeker, too fucking bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got to wait
kinda-
6
I think
years.
we need to write a story about the pissed off Gryffindor
Harry-
who hates
look.
Harry from the beginning.
Harry is kind of a jock asshole.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Well, I was just thinking, it kind of makes me wonder if people feel about Harry the same way they feel about Malfoy. Like, Malfoy comes in, he wants to play Quidditch, and he fucking gets to because his dad's rich. Harry comes in, he's like, what are your qualifications? I'm famous.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm on the team.
Yeah.
Same deal.
I
Not
caught a ball in the
skill-based.
air when I was, a first
Yeah.
year.
I mean, he has proven himself now on the Quidditch field or the Quidditch pitch, excuse me.
Yes.
Except he
How
always
dare
has
you.
issues.
A
His-
couple of times, but I mean, he's got some cred
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
but then he didn't, and Malfoy would have been treated the same way.
No, that's what I'm thinking. There's a second year student, or now it'd be a fourth year student, I think, that fucking hates Harry's guts.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Ron looks over and notices that Hermione's schedule makes absolutely no sense because she has 3 classes scheduled at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, he goes down the list. He's like, "Look, 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock." I love how Ron says, "Look, you're good,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody's this good."
You are fantastic, but you physically cannot be in 2 places at once.
I like it because it just shows Ron's fucking observant. Ron is not stupid, and in the books we see that a lot more. From book 1 till now, he does pay attention to the little
Yeah.
shit that like Harry didn't fucking notice this. Nobody else is paying attention to what the fuck Hermione's doing, but Ron is like, something's going on with this bitch. I don't know what she's doing, but she's doing some stuff.
What's the little meme thing? Like Harry and being unobservant. Like
Yeah.
name a better duo.
Yeah,
Like no, Harry doesn't fucking see anything unless it is directly in front of him.
yeah.
Hagrid enters the Great Hall next, and the trio are all going to be in his very first class as a Hogwarts professor.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, which like that's pretty cool.
That's the surprise, right? That Hagrid's a teacher now.
Yeah, we found out last night at the welcome feast.
Yeah.
Hagrid is a teacher, and they're
And-
going to be in his first
Yes,
class.
and they're in his class. Look, he wasn't a teacher until now, but he's their favorite authority at the school.
Oh yeah.
He's their friend. Back of Ron's head, easy A. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Harry, whatever. He'll do his stuff. Hermione just thinks this is great.
I just think it's interesting because Hagrid probably was like, "Hey, Dumbledore, I would really like to have the kids in my first class."
Oh, that
Int-
conversation we
yeah.
don't get
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah, and
Interesting.
He has some pull, I'm sure. So I'm sure Dumbledore's like, yes, I can give you a softball for your first class.
Hat in
with the
hand.
kids. Yeah.
Fucking broken
Yeah.
wand behind his back. Well, Mr. Dumbledore, sir, I'd been thinking, and I know what caused a bit of trouble last few years, but maybe if you could find it in your heart to, maybe I just want him in my class. Can we just do that?
My first class ever.
Yes. Yeah, we can make that. Yeah. That was a very good Hagrid.
Well,
It was.
I think you've done that a few times now, and it takes me by surprise each time.
I
which-
don't. It was born from you saying Hermione. That Hagrid kind
That's
of
what it
turned
was. That's
into
what
a
it
pirate
was.
in my voice, but then it feels like home to me. I like Hagrid sounding like that.
Well, unfortunately, we don't get to go to Hagrid's first class right now because
No.
it's time for divination.
I knew that. I saw that coming.
Are you happy?
Yeah. Actually, I am.
Good, because that was funny. That was really funny.
I
Well
read
done.
I read the hops in my beer, and I could tell.
For sure wasn't the giant TV screen with the notes on it.
Might have been that too. Might have gotten a hint from that.
Little column A, little column B.
Well, then I'm sure you also know that it's going to take at least 10 minutes to get up to that North Tower. So they need to leave right fucking now.
Yeah.
And, of course, Malfoy gets one last little feint in making fun of Harry as they leave. Because what a fucking dick.
Right in the fucking nose. As a person who was bullied for a little bit, I'll take a little bit of verbal abuse. We're just at school. I'm not going to prison for punching you square in the fucking jaw.
But I'm also getting to know it. Like every time this happens, I would be looking over at Neville. I mean, like, this is why you're not part of our trio, right? This is why we're a trio and not a quad. Okay?
Yeah.
He's the one that
Fuck you, Neville.
told Malfoy.
Neville, keep your goddamn mouth shut.
Yeah.
Neville is also no help in getting them to the divination tower. They get lost and get help from a very helpful Sir Cadogan, who eventually gets them to the divination tower after trying to fight them at first. Sir Cadogan seemed kind of cool.
He's funny. He can't get on his horse.
Yeah, I like him. Yeah, tries to get on his horse, can't.
Can't get his sword out of the ground. It's fucking it's hilarious.
I like riding horses and all. Not great at it. I kind of picture this me as a hero. Like, just kind of have half your shit together. I'll be there. Like, just give me 10 minutes.
I also do love that this is one of the only times I think in the series that I remember that we actually get a whole lot of interaction. I mean, maybe not the only, there's a couple other, but we get good interaction with the paintings. He's going through all of them, and there's like all the other paintings react to him. And so, like, having fucking paintings that are basically alive in your cat, like, that's a really cool feature that I don't know. It's interesting to see them interact with it a little bit.
Where else do you have just long hallways filled with paintings that you can talk? It's all animated and moving.
Yeah.
It really lends to this is a magical place.
They have their own community, like, because they go and they visit each other. Like, they go drink with each other in each other's portraits and things. So, it's a whole other...
I would spend so much time just talking to the paintings at Hogwarts. That I would be the weird kid that doesn't make any friends with real people. I make friends with paintings.
You know what shit
and the ghosts?
You know what shit you could find out from the painting?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what happened here 4 years ago?
Hey, what hot goss do you have about that kid in my third hour?
It's kind of like you have security cameras everywhere in the school. But then also...
Don't need a Marauders map. You got to build... You can just have someone in their painting follow you.
Who came through here 10 minutes ago, guy?
Oh, my goodness.
And... you can talk to paintings, and you don't even have to be drunk to do it.
They'll talk back to you.
Right, exactly.
And probably say more interesting things than your drunk self would have thought they said.
Enter Sybil Trelawney, the divination teacher. The classroom, Harry notices, is like a cross between an attic and an old tea shop. And I'm going to be real honest, that sounds fucking cozy as hell.
There is a coffee shop in Grand Rapids that Jade and I went to one morning, and fuck if I don't remember the name of it, but it was exactly that. The dude, he rented a spot, he makes great fucking coffee, and then in the rest of it was just like old furniture and stuff that was all you could sit on, but it was also for sale.
Is that on Bridge?
Actually, yeah, I think it might have been.
I know what you're talking about.
It was a cool little shop, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. I love having coffee there.
I bought furniture from that dude.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm so
as soon
glad.
as you said furniture on sale, I'm like, fuck, I know what you're talking about.
Because we're like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
This guy ain't selling any of this stuff, really, right? But yeah, apparently he is.
He did.
Fuck yeah.
I got a nice little shelf for like $50. It was fine. Well, not like this random dude, though. Trelawney has a soft, misty voice that sounds very dramatic. I don't know if that's probably not good.
I don't know if that's what you were going for.
The new microphones pick up that NPR voice very nicely.
I will never do that again. We see Trelawney, and she is in fact a very thin woman with very large glasses that then magnify her very large eyes even more. She's a little bug-like, and I think that's like, yeah, I know exactly what she looks like now. I know what that person looks like. She's got this sparkled shawl, different colors and patterns all over her, an innumerable amount of chains and beads around her neck.
Her
it is. Arms and hands are completely encrusted in bangles and rings. So she's a gypsy pirate.
Yeah, exactly. The shawl and the chains and beads are what really do it for me. When I think of Trelawney, it's like your grandma would always have the extra, all the hangy, dangly things to do, make her look nice or whatever. And it's like from the 70s, though, to where the amount is a lot.
A lot.
There's a lot of,
She's wearing all of what she has.
Some fray.
At one time.
You got the, what's it called? Like Elvis used to do it, with little
tassels.
danglies, the tassels.
fringe.
Yeah.
Honestly,
just a lot of shit like that.
I think with Elvis, it's tassels. With grandma's, it's fringe.
But also a lot of purple, like you said.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, Trelawney comes in. She starts giving her speech about what this class is going to be. She starts getting a little too weird for me. So I don't know about you guys. I think I'd like to maybe have a beer before we really get into this class.
All right.
I think I'm going to need it. You guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Well, I think we'll take a quick little break and we'll be back right after this. Hey, Nate, what'd you grab for us today?
Today I grabbed tasty cake.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's harassment. You can't just grab a tasty cake.
I paid for it.
Oh, okay.
Upon further reflection, never mind. So this is Tasty Cake. It's a coffee cake ale from Victory Brewing Company. The top of the bottle says Taste Victory. This says locally brewed, locally baked. This tasty collaboration between Victory Brewing Company and Tasty Cake gets the delicious flavors of Tasty Cake coffee cake into a sweet ale with notes of pound cake and cinnamon. That is a lot of cake.
A lot of
Yeah.
I feel like we've never tried this brewery before, but the logo looks very familiar. Is it similar to the Victory motorcycle logo?
Yes, no, it's not that, but we have had a Victory beer before.
We have.
I believe it was a Belgian style.
I mean, that is close to the Victory motorcycle logo too, though.
Little bit
Okay.
different font, but we for sure never had this beer before.
Yeah. No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I'm also looking around for percentages. 6%
Okay.
alcohol by volume. That's all it says. So let's give this one a try.
All right, diving in deep end. Cheers. Cheers.
Oh, almost broke tradition.
Hmm.
Well, I think that's delightful.
That's got a nice, just like a nice little sweet kick to it.
Yeah.
I'm not really getting a lot of, I guess I'm getting some coffee. Like it's coffee cake. It's
like,
not coffee and cake.
Right.
It's coffee cake.
It's similar to like a Java, the
Mm.
Java Porter, I think, or the vanilla Java. One of those from Atwater.
Yeah.
It has the coffee, the light coffee.
I like it though.
I got to say, they nailed this fucking flavor profile.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. I'm going to say right now, I'm pretty high on this one.
Out of how many coffee cakes? They can't all be winners. Out of 10 slices of cake, how many slices would you rate this?
I'm going to give this 8.
That's an impressive score.
I'm going to go 8 because it feels more fair.
Okay.
But I really do
Okay.
like this one.
I'm giving it a 7.
Fair.
It's good, but there is a lot I would prefer over this. I was going to say 6.5 because it's good. It's not in my favorites.
The aftertaste is what's taking it from closer to like an 8 or a 9 and bringing it down closer to like a 6, 6.5. Because
Really?
a lot of coffee beers, when you're done drinking them, your mouth tastes like coffee a little bit, and that's not bad. It doesn't taste like stale beer. This, I don't know what that is.
I'm with you.
It's
I'm
not
with
not the coffee aftertaste that I would.
It's
expect.
not coffee, though. It's
No, I know
coffee
it's
cake.
coffee cake. I know.
Yeah.
I'm just, there is a taste there, and it's not coffee. It is not something else I like. So I'm bringing it down.
So what is your final?
6.
6? Okay. So we had an 8, a 7, and a 6. That's okay.
Right
Maybe
about there.
averages out
Yeah.
roughly a 7 overall. I think let's get a few more sips out of this, and then we'll get right back into the chapter. How does that sound to you guys?
Hell yeah.
Stellar.
Woo!
Woohoo!
And we're back. Professor Trelawney decides that she needs to show off a little bit, and she warns Neville that his grandma might not be doing well, which, even if true, that's a kind of fucked up thing to say at the beginning of class, and then
Yeah.
not tell him he can go and check. Come on.
There's no verification. Like, hey, I'm doing this cool psychic thing.
Yeah.
But is she really? And like, is it a hospital thing, or did she like stub her toe when she got out of bed this morning and it's minorly annoying throughout the day?
Or is
You
it
don't get
just-
to go check, so you just give her the credit, kind of.
Or is it just odds are your grandma, who is an older
Yeah,
lady,
yeah.
probably has some type of ailment today.
Ailment. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, but she literally goes, "Is your grandma well?" Neville goes, "I think so." And Trelawney goes, "Wouldn't be so sure if I were you."
Fuck.
What the fuck? That's
Thanks,
kind of
Teach.
that's messed up. She moves over to Parvati Patil and tells her that she needs to beware of a redheaded man. And then Ron immediately starts catching strays because she just turns and stares at Ron.
Everybody looks at the redheaded kid like, you.
Yeah.
But really, Ron is over there like a teenager going, I look like a man to you? Okay. I knew this stash was growing in all right.
Even though Ron is in the class, I think that's not quite right. You are in the same house as the Weasley twins. Of course you need to beware redheaded men.
Yeah.
You need to always know where the Weasley twins are when you're in the common room. So, like, that's another one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Trelawney knows the twins are in
Yeah.
her fucking
Well,
house.
yeah.
See, as a fan of Harry Houdini and like all the myth busting and shit he did, like he's a big fan of this is a trick. What I'm doing is pretend, it's for entertainment. He didn't like the spook show, right? He didn't like people claiming, "Oh, I'm talking to dead people," because fuck you, no, you're not. Now this lady deals with divination and like things you can't see. It's telling the future and stuff like that. But the things she's mentioned so far have been kind of explainable. Like, you guys can't see, but I have my vapes have just disappeared off the table.
Ah!
Yeah, and that was a magic trick.
They were just there.
It's amazing. I totally didn't just do that before I pointed out that they were gone. Kind of, I don't know. It's just, it
They're
feels
back.
cheap. So, yeah, just like that. So it feels kind of cheap. Jade, your arm is missing.
Yeah.
And I totally did that.
Wait, you...
Yeah, I did that before we even sat down to record. I have disappeared Jade's arm. It's gone. And I'm guessing at some point today it's going to grow back.
Oh, look.
See? I have just done this amazing thing. You all heard it and imagined it live, so you know it's true. No way we could have faked that. Jade definitely didn't just tuck her arm into her house coat.
I'm sorry to all of you.
I just, okay, the Trelawney thing, though, she's trying to be amazing and,
Yes.
like, dramatic, and it's just, it was kind of a miss. But I'm
Well,
a skeptic, so that's where I'm coming at it from.
Here's one that you at least have to wait to find out, because she then informs that the classes will be disrupted in February by the flu. This one's going to be kind of hard to explain away.
No, it's not. She's planning
Flu
on taking a
season.
sick day.
That's what I was going to say. She's like, I am
No. Classes. She's
Classes.
saying like
Several classes.
she's saying classes will be disrupted.
But yes, flu season, and then also,
Flu season,
yeah,
yeah.
she is just she's planning on taking a little vacay in the middle of February.
Well, and I do think that her next point here is she informs everyone that she will lose her voice.
Yeah, there it is.
Boy, yeah, no control over whether or not that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just send a quick owl over to Dumby in the morning and be like, hey, I'm not feeling it.
Yes, my voice.
You don't even have to do that because it's an owl.
I have whispered this letter to you so that you could know for sure that my voice does not work. Yeah, I'll be there in a minute. Hang on. And I'm super sick and can't come into work today. Did you remember the beach towels and the beer? So, yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll be better. With love, Trelawney.
Love from Trelawney. Here's another one that I think can also be easily explained. She informs everyone that around Easter, one of our number will leave us forever.
Ooh.
She has the power to kick people out of class.
Oh, fuck. I didn't even think about that. Of course I was thinking super dramatically. She's like, yeah, I can remove anybody I want. But see, that's my point. Like, all of this, if I'm sitting in her class, I'm like, you haven't done anything yet. Sorry, when you go talk to Dumbledore, he's got shit that does magical things all around.
But also,
It's like
Yeah.
actively making potions and shit in his class, and immediately he's like, this is what you need, this is what you need, boom, do the thing. And she's like, I'm being
But what we
And-
haven't described is that we are in a room with like fireplaces and flickering lights and heavily perfumed. And these are 13-year-old kids.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Some
yeah.
of these kids are getting lightheaded and headaches from
Yeah.
the fumes.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
they're like, and other ones are just like, oh, mystical shit. Hell yeah. I'm
Yeah.
full in.
Look, there's a real possibility. I'm just giving her too much shit because like class hasn't really even begun yet.
I know. Yeah.
So
yeah.
okay, all right.
Well, hey-
I'll back off.
We just get two quick more, and that's that on Friday, the 16th of September. The thing that Lavender Brown is dreading will happen, and then she tells Neville to use a blue cup after he breaks his first cup.
Okay, so the Lavender Brown thing, that
Mhm.
could be teacher could fail you on a test. The Neville use a blue cup after he breaks the first cup, though. I mean, that's pretty good because you're assuming that he's going to break a cup and then he's going to turn and there's going to be another one.
All this
and
means,
the one he just reaches for is going to be blue.
all this means is that the teachers have been talking shit, which
Oh, yeah.
teachers do.
Yeah. Teacher goes, hey, Longbottom. I remember his parents. Not like them. He's
Nope.
not like them.
Or she neglects to mention that every cup in her classroom just happens to be blue. So
No, they had two different cups, but I'm just saying, like, she clearly knows who Neville is and that he
Oh,
is
yeah.
a
Yeah.
clumsy little fucker.
yeah,
It's safe to say that there's a good chance that Neville was going to break a cup because it's Neville.
and then it immediately
Yeah,
fucking
and
happens.
it immediately
Yeah.
happened. So, like, kind of credit to her, but also, it's
Well,
questionable.
As somebody who's not the most graceful in the world, right? If you tell me to be careful of a thing,
I mean,
because
yeah.
you might do a thing, all of a sudden, I'm only going to be thinking about that. I'm probably going to fuck up.
Hey, look out for that cord.
Yeah.
What cord? Where's the cord?
You'll
What cord?
hyperfixate on
Yeah.
it. And yeah, but you're not the same kind of clusterfuck on wheels that Neville is,
No.
though.
No. So even more so, he probably got so nervous that he was like,
Oh,
God
yeah.
damn it, I'm going to break this. And then it broke.
But hey, there's a couple that are a little bit in the future, so we'll see. Maybe some of these come out. But class starts, and it's time to read some tea leaves.
Yes, let's do the thing.
The Ron is apparently going to have some trials and suffering, but then great happiness. So
Oh, good for him.
silver linings, like, that's not too bad. And Harry is going to get a windfall, which is unexpected gold, but have a deadly enemy, an attack, and danger in his path, and the Grim. Trelawney comes
Yes.
over and sees the Grim in his tea leaves. And
Oh,
that's
no.
not good because, as we all know from Flourish and Blots, the Grim is the worst omen of death.
Yeah, she screams when she sees this
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is a really big deal to her, and it's out of nowhere. The class is, like you pointed out, it's scented. They got
Mhm.
pink drapes over the lights. Everything's very soft and calming. It's
Yeah.
And
Shadowy.
then she screams, and that, like, it's jarring to everybody in the class. But I do also think it's kind of great that they are taking this thing and, like, spinning it around. I'm looking in my coffee cup right now. I don't have any grounds in here, which is a bummer. I wanted to see. Yeah, there's definitely no shape. But, like, he's spinning it around. Like, do you
Does
look at
that-
it this way or
Wait.
do you look at it this way?
Does that mean you have no future?
That means it's just full of possibilities.
Wow, that's a therapeutic thing to probably dig into.
Yeah, and that's legit. And I totally didn't make that up right now because, like we've pointed out, I have magic and can call things. Like, I'll bet you at the end of this episode, there's going to be music.
I hate this.
Mhm. I thought you were going to say something like, it's empty, which means that I will be awake for the next hour and a half, and then
That's
I might
better,
need
too.
some more coffee.
That or Aaron, when he edits this, will just not do it because I said that now.
Oh, yeah,
Prove me wrong, but
I'm taking
you
out
know,
all the good stuff.
There will be an ending of some sort. The
Yeah, there's
podcast
gonna
will
be-
come to an end
There's gonna
eventually.
be no music on this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we do get clarification that Harry remembers that he did see a Grim in Magnolia Crescent. He
Yeah.
saw that giant, huge dog-looking thing, and it kind of looks like the Grim.
Are black dogs not that common in England?
I think it's more of the large. It's a large black dog, and he saw a monster of a dog
Okay.
that also was black.
'Cause I have a black dog. I see a black dog every day.
I wouldn't say Loki is large, though, because I would say that he's...
I think he is a big old boy.
Okay, 2 points
He's
real
a big
quick.
old boy.
He's a black dog. We see him every day, but he is the most bestest boy,
Most
and he is
bestest,
super
biggest boy.
special. Okay, now that I've gotten that out of the way, also a great song by Led Zeppelin. I
Black
still
dog.
have the vision of Harry looking down the alley and then that song in the background, even though that song does not match the vibe
No, that's
at all.
totally different.
Yeah. I see something scary. I think it's a death omen, and it's kind of sexy. That's how that would end up.
I don't like it, but I kind of do. Well, someone else is kind of not liking what's going on, and on reading Harry's tea leaves, Hermione starts getting a little bit skeptical, shall we say? Cool. Predict that Harry has a dangerous enemy. Duh. Of course he does.
Oh, yeah,
That's
of course.
kind of what he's known for.
The book starts with Harry Potter and. So, like, Trelawney didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Ha-ha!
Trelawney does make one little comment about Hermione, which I just want to mention. And that she says that she perceives very little aura around you, very little receptivity to the resonances of the future.
This has to be tied to the triple, quadruple 9 o'clock schedule, right?
Yeah, literally at the beginning of this chapter,
Like-
we had weird timey-wimey stuff.
We kind of glazed over it earlier, but she said that she had fixed it with McGonagall. And Ron just kept going on about how her schedule was fucky and that she could never do. After she had already told him, look, I already straightened this out. It's fine. Like, maybe implying, schedule's wrong, dude. Don't worry about it. I know what I'm doing. It's whatever. But then you have this with Trelawney. And this is the second point to where Trelawney has now done something that she can't fake. So it's like, then it lends her credibility.
You guys read into it that way. The way I read into it was a 13-year-old got a little snarky with the teacher because she didn't really believe what was going on.
Yeah, that,
right?
yeah.
Which happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the teacher took a whole ass shot back.
Oh, yeah.
Whole shot back at the character of the student.
Yeah, that's true.
And this isn't even, we aren't even into the first class yet. So Trelawney didn't even, like, she didn't let it roll off. She wasn't like, you know what, maybe this is we can work it out later. She was like, you're gonna do shit in my class. Like, we're gonna butt heads from here on out.
Yeah.
You will not do well in this class.
Well, your aura is your personality, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying that your aura is very tiny and it's hard to, it's basically saying you're a boring bitch
yeah.
and I don't like you. Welcome to my class.
Yeah, and basically being like, you're gonna do shit in this class for somebody, especially like Hermione,
Yeah.
who prides herself on doing well. Yeah, we're gonna be fighting now, teach.
Trelawney is that teacher that's like, not all of you are going to pass this class.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, you're a bad teacher because your job is to get all of us to pass the class.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're just a bad teacher. Got it.
And all of this is based on opinions anyway. So like the whole thing is like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
So I see where you guys were going with it, but to me, I was like, oh, this is a spicy little cat fight between a teacher, a 13-year-old and a teacher.
I didn't pick up on that. We've also had 2 full years of Harry versus Snape. So this isn't the first time we've had it, but this is the first time it's not Harry. So
Right.
that is an interesting point.
Yeah, and it's Hermione getting into it with a teacher, which
Yeah,
never
that-
fucking happens.
Yeah, another layer there. Hermione loves all the teachers.
Well, and I think when I'm reading it, I put the blame on Hermione, especially like when I was growing up.
Oh,
But
yeah.
now as an adult reading it and looking at it, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
that wasn't the right
Bitch,
way to handle
your
that.
job is to
Yeah.
not do what you just
Yeah,
did.
exactly.
You're supposed to know how to handle a teenager.
Yeah.
Class is done, and as they leave, Trelawney gets one more in and says that, oh, by the way, Neville, make sure you study extra hard because you're going to be late next time.
Does it have to do with my grandma?
Yeah, probably because my grandma's in the hospital, bitch. They head to Transfiguration next. Harry, especially, but a lot of the class was very distracted, and they hardly heard McGonagall teach about animagi, which are wizards that can transform into animals at will.
Well, yeah, she turns into a
Yeah,
cat.
she shows off. We know she is one.
and nobody is like, oh my god. They're all like, ugh.
Yeah, and she met. What? Can you hold on?
I can't.
Because I had a different read on the scenario. Okay.
I cannot read. No.
Well, yeah, McGonagall mentions that the classes usually make a noise. Maybe not that one. And that's when Hermione pops up and mentions that they just had their first divination class. And McGonagall, not so subtly, shows her feelings about Professor Trelawney as she tells them that Trelawney has predicted 1 student death per year. And so far, none of it's ever happened.
Yeah, pretty low track record.
It's like, that bitch a faker.
A nice heartwarming moment from McG here, because she tells Harry that if he does in fact die, he doesn't have to turn his homework in.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Mhm.
McG.
We were actually talking about this earlier, and we kind of figured that Hermione would probably just go ahead and turn in his homework because
Yeah, oh yeah.
she didn't want him to not graduate post-mortem or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, Hermione would probably help him out.
It actually was a nice moment, though, because it did help Harry and,
Oh, yeah.
and everybody be like, okay, so this is really not serious if McGonagall is
Oh,
like,
yeah.
whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, arguably their most serious teacher just told them to chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
You love to see
That's
it.
a good sign. Yeah. Well, we get through Transfiguration and we head to lunch. And this is where we get a little bit more info because Ron asks Harry if he did see a Grim-like dog, and Harry says he did. And Ron's entire perception about divination class does a full 180.
Oh, yeah.
Because he is
Hard
now
turn.
fully drinking the Kool-Aid and goes, "You're going to die, dude." Grims are bad. Grims are not good, and this is a serious thing. This is not a joke anymore.
Oh, I also love because it like in the class, he was like, I thought it looked like a sheep.
Yeah. He literally guesses every single thing. He goes, "I think it looks like this," and now it was for sure a Grim. Apparently.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hunter, there's no doubt that it couldn't
Yeah.
have been anything else in Ron's mind.
Yeah. Hermione, of course, continues on her skepticism. She, kind of
Standing
questions.
strong.
Yeah, she questions it more, and Ron says that one of his uncles actually saw the Grim and then died shortly after. And Hermione's like, duh, because he was old and he got scared by a giant dog. The Grim doesn't tell you you're gonna die. The Grim is the reason you die.
Yeah. Probably scared him to death, had a heart attack, something like that. Like
Mhm.
it's all explainable. But can we check this? Is there lore written? Did Joro do that? Like, can we go back and see and check if Ron actually did have an uncle that died after seeing the Grim?
Do you?
Well, he might have. That's the thing. He might have seen a dog before he died and not have had it related. There's a lot of people who have died of other things and then had other people be like, oh, but in the last year they got that one thing. So now,
so they just connect the 2 points. There's no actual
Yeah.
connection
Right.
between. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I did
Okay.
do that thing before I died. Is
Yeah.
that why I died? No.
Do you know what else Uncle Bilius did 24 hours before he died? He ate food.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
So maybe
he drove.
well, he might have flown a broom.
You say
Yeah.
something like, hey, you're going to tie your shoes before you die.
Probably. Yeah, there's a good chance.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hermione is very much of just like, no, this is dumb. This
he looked
is
in
not.
the mirror 3 times that day.
Yeah, this is not a thing. And she really starts going into divination as a whole and that she is not a fan. And she mentions that it was not as good as her arithmancy class and then gets up and leaves because she has had enough.
Peace out.
Yeah.
That's a weird comment to have made when you were with us all day. Okay.
Yeah.
Up until now, when
Yeah.
you're like, I sorted it with McGonagall. It could just be, I'm not going to actually attend all of these classes.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the homework and work on my own.
Sure,
Because
yeah.
I am a
Study hour.
I'm fucking smart.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
smarter
yeah.
than all of you, so
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
But then when you say I was in that class today, now there's questions.
They went from breakfast to divination to transfiguration together.
Yeah.
But apparently Hermione also went to arithmancy. So I'm with Ron. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
But
But
Harry doesn't give a shit. He's like, I don't know.
Totally aloof. Whatever.
yeah, I think maybe we should give this a little bit more thought. And I think maybe we take a small little break and maybe dive into this a little bit more. But we'll be back right after, I don't know, this. And we're back. Our break is done. And similar to our break, lunch is done for the trio.
Not for us, though. It's like lunch is done for them. We're still very hungry.
Oh, yeah. I am getting a little hungry. We're going to need lunch soon. Yes. But no, for the trio, lunch is done.
That's
But-
fine.
Care of Magical Creatures class.
Yes.
Fucking awesome and excited. Like, Jade, you love your pets more
I
than
do.
any other human on the planet
I do.
loves pets. I know that's probably not true
I
to a
don't
lot
know.
of you
Yeah.
listening, but like it
Yeah.
feels like it to you and your pets.
Yeah.
So if you got to go to a Care of Magical Creatures class with Hagrid, you're in heaven.
Yes, I do understand
Depending
the
on the creature.
trepidation. Yeah. But I mean, I like a lot of weird, like one of my friends has a whole room full of weird shit, and I like looking at all that stuff too. So I suppose it doesn't really have to be a cute, cuddly thing.
Yeah, I'm scared to say the A word.
I'm
Actually, I'm scared to say the D word.
I don't know what
we-
you mean.
I don't know if I want to bring up Dillos in front of her. She might.
Dillos. Yeah.
I like Dillos.
Jade loves Dillos.
I do.
Your friend that you're talking about has reptiles.
Yeah. Snakes and reptiles and...
Wait, are we sure she's a Hufflepuff? Are we sure she's not a Slytherin? Are you positive? Do you talk snakes?
No.
Oh, okay.
But and I don't own them. I have fuzzy pets.
Well, you don't need
And
to,
I think that you could have whatever pet you
You
want
don't
and
need
be
to-
in a house.
you don't need to own them to be able to talk to them and tell them, "Hey, go away for a while.
That
My
doesn't-
husband's
that doesn't
scared of snakes."
That doesn't determine your house at Hogwarts.
I was just double checking. You all right, bud?
I'm good. I
Oh.
was just going to say Jade would love a class with animals.
I would.
think in
Oh
general.
yeah.
I would. You're not wrong.
I also would love a class with animals, but not with the Slytherins. And Jade, Nate, you guys were talking earlier about how, hey, Hagrid was like, let me go to Dumby and make sure I get Gryffindor for my first class. Did Dumbledore pull a fast one on him and go, you got it, bud? And I'm
Yeah.
also going to throw the Slytherins in there, dick.
What I'm guessing
Don't ask
happened.
me for favors.
He probably didn't do it out. Like, okay, maybe he did. Maybe he did do it on purpose. But what I would guess happened is that he requested to have the Gryffindors.
Yeah,
So that got
yeah.
slotted in on the schedule.
Yeah,
And then somebody else is probably doing the schedules. Somebody like McGonagall or
that's
somebody.
my question.
And they just got slid in wherever they got slid in. And it's just an unhappy coincidence.
That's where I want to know who does the scheduling, because if it's McGonagall, why did McGonagall think it was a good idea to put the Slytherins in Hagrid's first class?
I just know sometimes with scheduling.
Oh, yeah, sometimes you can't help it.
Yeah, you're just like, the Slytherins
Yeah.
have to go to this class at some point, and
Yes,
this
yeah.
is the only time that they can be there and not somewhere else.
That's what I mean. If it is McGonagall that's doing this, that is my number one note. Make sure Hagrid's first class is good. That
Yeah.
is number one note. We have to. We're starting there and then making the rest of the schedule.
Okay, so maybe
Yeah.
it's Snape doing the schedule.
Maybe that would make more sense to me.
Someone behind the scenes who just doesn't like Hagrid.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Martha in
Yeah.
administration is doing the scheduling.
It might be more like the Sorting Hat, though, where it's probably some enchanted quill that writes it every year.
They have to have had this schedule set up for hundreds of years at this point, right?
It's probably
So
the
could-
same.
Probably
Yeah.
just totally random. But
Yeah.
also,
A
it's a
7-year
bummer for
cycle.
Hagrid that his first class is going to have all enemies in it.
Not
Yeah.
all.
Probably
I mean, a lot of them. In general,
Take
like
the bad and good.
MSU and
U of M.
U of M fans.
Mhm.
Like, it's just might not be a huge problem, but
Sure.
not going to
Yeah.
go as smooth as it could.
Yeah. Well, regardless of how it got set up, this is where we're at.
Yeah.
The first class is Gryffindor, Slytherin, in Care of Magical Creatures. And it doesn't start off great because Hagrid tells them that they need to open their books. And Malfoy, of course, just goes, how are we supposed to open this book? We find out that no one in class knew how to open their book, and Hagrid has to tell them, you just give them a little pet on the spine and they
Well,
open right up.
yeah.
And he thought it would be funny.
Just
It's such a sad.
He thought
That's
it
such
would
a
be
sad
funny.
moment in the book.
I remember this being funny the first time I read it. Now, as an adult man, supposedly in my 30s, this is sad.
Well,
I feel so bad for Hagrid.
he thought he was doing a nice thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to be like those other
Look,
professors.
but it's all laid out bare. We know Hagrid. We know Hagrid doesn't view scary, dangerous
Yes,
things as
yep.
being scary and dangerous. So what does that mean this book is to Hagrid? It's just a cute, cuddly little book. It's like a kitten to Hagrid. Why wouldn't you
it might scratch you and bite you a little
A
bit, but look how
little,
cute it is. It's so cute, little
sure, but
kitty.
it's fuzzy and just give it a little loving. And why wouldn't you do that to this thing that's obviously a creature? To
Yeah.
Hagrid, it makes perfect sense. To a normal person, you're like, why the fuck?
Mm.
That's why it's sad to me,
Yeah.
because Hagrid's like, you guys didn't love your
Oh,
pets
yeah.
that I gave you.
Well, he does say
Yeah.
he thought it would be funny, but I do think
Yeah.
there's probably more truth to what you're saying, because I'm sure in Hagrid's eyes, it's very simple.
Yeah.
Here's a flow chart. Does it have fur? Yes. Pet it.
Yeah.
No. Don't pet it. The book had fur. Pet it.
Hagrid's
It's
would
that
be
simple.
fur or no fur. Just fucking pet it.
Well, it would probably, yeah, it would
Just
probably be,
fucking pet
does
it.
it have fur? Yes, pet it. No,
Is it a
pet
creature
it.
of any kind? Touch it as soon as possible.
yeah, see, when he says funny, I
Can
don't.
I pet that dog?
Hold it and let it breathe in your face.
When he says, is it like he thinks it would be funny. I don't think he thinks it would be funny in like a haha prank way.
Right?
I think
Yes.
he's like
cute, funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
again, this is not on Hagrid. This is on the manufacturer. Like, the book is fine, okay?
Yeah.
It's the packaging in which you sell it. It should have been sold with a band around it and a little sign on the front
yeah. Instructions.
that says,
Yes.
pet me on my binding
Well,
to keep me
okay.
calm.
Actually,
That is exactly right. You need to be able to know the thing about it because it could be dangerous if you don't do the thing. I think that needs to be labeled clearly. But to Hagrid, this was like a prank birthday card. It's
Yeah.
the equivalent.
Yeah.
He thought it'd be a cutesy, funny little thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the little pop up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, class didn't take it that way.
Yeah, and I like that Malfoy is the
squares.
one
Of
that,
course.
that speaks up. Harry's just like, I don't give a fuck how I belted the thing shut.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to open it.
That's
It's
what there
fucking
was.
scary.
There was spellotape. There was a bunch of other ways that they mentioned real quick how these things were bound.
I want to picture everybody coming to class and then like putting all their shit on the table, and Hagrid's like, "What did you guys do to your books?" Because they're
Mhm.
like saran wrap. Somebody's using a belt. Somebody like glued it shut.
It's
Yeah.
just such a weird thing that, like, the bookseller had no way of
Yeah.
like, all these children bought these books. Their parents bought these books from a retailer.
Yeah,
And they were like, I don't fucking know.
I'm sure.
They
I'm
took 'em
sure
home.
Flourish and Blotts isn't the only retailer that's had to deal with this year. Like these books, I'm sure aren't new.
Yeah. And then
Like,
the
yeah.
parents went home and I don't fucking know. Go find something in your room to keep it shut.
Well, yeah. Malfoy, he kind of dives into it too, where he's just like, yeah, haha, real funny. This is hilarious. So not a great first start to Hagrid's class, but Hagrid then leads them over to a little corral, and there are fucking hippogriffs in there.
Hell yeah.
Their first class is an animal that is half horse, half eagle, and has 6-inch fucking talons on it.
Yeah, this is the thing we see on the cover, correct?
Correct.
Yes. Yep. This is the cover animal. This is the hippogriff. And yeah, they're also very proud animals. They kind of look regal too. I mean, half eagle, half horse. That's a sick looking thing.
I mean,
Well, think about how an eagle looks at you. Have you ever gone to the zoo and
Yeah.
had the eagle stare at you?
Yeah.
They look like they're assholes.
in the same
yeah,
vein
yeah. They look
as
angry,
this
too.
fucking book that Hagrid has passed out. Again, it's
yeah.
look, this can be a dangerous thing, but you need to treat it the right way. And I
Respect.
think that's a good through line, like
Yeah.
for animals in general. Different animal, different approach.
And
And
people.
Hagrid is trying to teach that inherently before you even start his class. So Hagrid's kind of a genius.
Well, it's interesting because this is the difference, though, to kind of how we were introduced to this. Because you mentioned that Jade, likes puppies and kittens and like little snakes and lizards, and I'm like, no, this is what I want. If I'm taking a class called
Yeah, fuck
Magical
yeah.
Creatures, we're doing dragons, right? Like this is exactly what I signed up for.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, only Ron, Harry, and Hermione approach, and they pretty much only do that out of like their friendship with Hagrid.
Yeah, they trust Hagrid.
Well,
They
trust but verify with Hagrid.
They want his
That's
class.
exactly right.
They want his class to be a success. So
Yes. They're doing it for Hagrid, not for themselves.
Well, and in general, Hagrid is not going to tell them to do something that would injure them or mar them
mm-hmm.
on purpose.
and
Right,
he could probably
right.
hit, like, he's there.
Yeah.
He has their best interest at heart, right? So he's not doing anything that's going to this is going to fuck him up. Just watch.
I
This is
mean-
going to break Harry's nose. It's going to be awful and so funny. No.
He did send them off by themselves into
Well,
the forest.
Literally year one.
But whatever.
So
it's
he's
fine.
got
it's fine.
some
Anyway,
it's fine.
anyway,
It's
yeah.
fine.
problem.
It's fine. It's
Hagrid
fine.
is a good guy.
He is. He is. He
yes.
is.
Hagrid's heart is always in the right place. Speaking of which, he tells the class the proper hippogriff approach technique. It's kind of a thing where there's a sense of politeness because these are intelligent creatures, and you have to be polite to the hippogriff in order for you to approach it. You have to go up to the hippogriff, bow, and then wait for it to accept your bow.
Yeah, it has to accept you into
Mhm.
its circle, much like a cat.
And-
You got to get the nose bump, otherwise,
yeah.
fuck off.
Yeah. This was just a little confusing to me because Hagrid says you have to let the hippogriff make the first move, and then says, now go make the first move and bow
Yeah.
and wait for it to make the first move. Hagrid, my guy, that's the second move. Come on now.
I know you're trying, but also this thing could like cut me in half.
I like
easily.
you, Hagrid. I like you, but you are wrong.
I need some clarity on these instructions.
I'm wondering if what he means by let them decide is if you see one and it looks like it's gonna fuck you up, you better just not even.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what he says. He goes,
Maybe not
if
that
you
time.
if you bow and this thing doesn't like bow back in what is a reasonable amount of time, again, that thing has 6-inch talons on each arm, leg, whatever. Get the fuck out of there if it does not bow back to you.
I mean, it's big. It's the equivalent of a bear. Just picture a bear. How does the bear look? Does it look angry? Maybe don't approach.
Yeah, when we say half eagle, half horse, it's the size of a horse.
Yeah.
It's just also half eagle.
Not a cute little mini horse. We're talking about a big apex predator here.
With this knowledge, I don't think it's that much of a surprise that Harry is the only one to volunteer to try to approach the Hippogriff. And again, I don't think he's doing this for himself. I think he's doing this for Hagrid.
Yeah.
See? But here's where I'm like, okay, Gryffindors.
Yeah, come on now, Gryffindors.
He's the only one that approached. He is a Gryffindor.
I get that they're scared. I get that they're big and whatever. But you know what? Here's the thing where Nate's right.
Mm-hmm.
If I was in a class like this and I got taken out to see some giant-ass creatures, if you brought me out to see a paddock full of bears.
Oh, yeah.
And the instructor was like, listen, this is going to be fine as long as you follow my instructions. If it doesn't, you might get real fucked up. But
that's what I want.
I would be like, abs-fucking-lutely. They'd be like, who wants to go first? I would be like, me. I'm going to listen to every instruction very well, and we are going to touch this bear.
I mean, it's the
Can
bull.
I pet that bear?
It's the bull.
Can I pet that bear?
Yeah, no, this is like, they're Gryffindors. They're supposed to be stepping up and be brave, right?
Yeah.
This Hufflepuff would put them to shame, I tell you that.
And then Hagrid just gives him some last-minute advice and goes, oh, by the way, make sure to have good eye contact and don't blink. This should have been part of that very first instruction.
Yeah, I want to know, is this just a small detail? Is this a minor detail that could just maybe help me out? Or is this intrinsic? And when you say don't blink, that seems pretty important.
I lose at every fucking staring contest I've ever been in because I blink so fast. My eyes are so dry all the time.
To me, that just screams,
I'm going to die.
As a child, when you're told how to introduce yourself to somebody. Like, hey, good eye contact.
Oh, yeah.
Firm handshake.
Yeah.
You know, don't overdo it, but don't just give them soft paw either. Just good and proper introduce yourself well.
Yeah.
So that this thing will appreciate your introduction kind of a thing. I totally get that. But if it's like, if you look away in the first 8 seconds while you make eye contact with this thing, it will cut your throat with its talon and eat your head for dessert. So don't do that.
See, that's the other thing, right? If I'm hanging out by myself and I'm just practicing, holding my breath, keeping my eyes open, I could probably do it for a decent amount of time. But if you tell me you better hold your fucking breath or you're going to die, or keep eye contact or you're going to die, immediately my brain's going to be like, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, here it comes, I'm dead.
Well, and we kind of get a potential example of that because Harry does in fact bow and nothing happens. And he is about to back away, but then Bucky bows.
Yeah.
Buckbeak gives him a bow, and it turns out Bucky, big fan of beak pats.
What?
Yeah.
He likes boops on his snoot.
Oh, boops.
Not too hard. Like, you don't want to over-assume on the, you get one, you seem to enjoy it. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. We don't need to find the upper limit, though, to the boopage, Just a good little boop on the snoot. And then in classic Hagrid fashion, unfortunately for Harry, he immediately suggests, Harry, you might be able to ride that thing. My guy, again, not on the first date.
In a weird way, it's kind of like...
Riding's at least date 2.
It's kind of like another person's motorcycle.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Hey, man, go ahead. You can feel it.
In general, I'm not going to hop on somebody I just met's bike, right?
Yeah.
But, like, I've got close friends. My dad rides. If he's like, yeah, you can go ahead and hop on there. It's just like, it's special. You know what I mean? So it's like you said, this is the first meet. Go ahead and hop on there. Like, I don't know if we're there yet, Hagrid.
Yeah. Well, apparently Bucky's just a little slut because he's all for it.
He's all about it.
Yeah, he gets right in there. Of course, Harry hops on Buckbeak, and they do, in fact, take off and start flying.
Hell yeah.
And Harry says the most redundant thing I've ever heard, not like a broomstick. Really? This animal that's the size of a horse is not like riding an average household broomstick. Interesting, Harry.
It's like saying your bicycle is not like riding a motorcycle.
It's like saying your bicycle is not like the train you just rode on. We are in two wildly different worlds here.
Well, I guess that's the thing. He's in the same position,
Sure.
flying through the air.
Sure.
So I think
That's it, though.
Yeah, but I guess that's my thing. It's a larger mode, and it feels differently under you. So
Yeah.
it's like something has a big motor and it's larger.
Yeah.
But
That is true. That's
it's
true.
not like you're like going from ground to flight or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're arguing now. We're debating. But I won. So
You
can continue.
did. Those were good points. I do digress on that.
Okay.
Well, seeing Harry's success, though, the whole class gets emboldened, and they begin approaching all the other hippogriffs that are around, because it wasn't just Buckbeak. However, speaking of Buckbeak, Malfoy and gang are now the ones that are approaching Buckbeak.
Yeah.
You know, Harry's landed. He's now watching Ron and Hermione.
It was a great experience. We saw the good kids with Hagrid. They trusted their teacher. They did the thing. It was a little scary, little titillating, but good. And now we're going to see the shitheads do it.
I will say, I love Hagrid. I love this class idea, right? I do think having one teacher for this type of situation is probably not good, because I feel like each of these students should have had a moment to interact with the hippogriff with Hagrid watching.
Fully supervised, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Before he let them, because they are very dangerous, and all it takes is blinking at them to piss them off. So, like, there is a little bit of, like, good idea, but we could have had better execution.
Well, we talked about this about the broom class, too.
Yeah.
Like, there should be more than one teacher handling that. Just because, hey, if something goes wrong, you can take this kid up to hospital, and somebody else is there actively with the kids in the forest with a bunch of fucking hippogriffs that could get... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Hagrid's gone, there could be a real issue.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, you guys are blowing this out of proportion, okay? Care of magical creatures is nowhere near as dangerous as going to Hogsmeade on the weekends, okay?
That's
Yeah.
true.
No permission
Accurate.
slip
Yeah,
needed
Accurate.
that's true.
to take Hagrid's class.
Nope.
I would argue maybe there should be. So Malfoy immediately fucks around and finds out with Buckbeak. He calls him a great ugly brute and gets a pretty big fucking gash on his arm from one of those, I don't know if I mentioned this, but 6-inch talons.
Yeah.
Well, Malfoy takes one to the arm and then starts screaming, "I'm dying. Look at me. He's killed me." And
well, you're
come
still
on.
screaming, so I don't think you're dead yet.
Harry gets a look.
Is it nasty?
It's a serious wound.
Well, okay, but at the same time, remember all that shit you gave me
Well
for
deserved.
freaking out about the Azkaban guards?
Oh, yeah.
Looks like a paper cut to me, Malfoy. Better suck that shit. You know what? Tell your father about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ha!
Well deserved.
Ha!
Well, I don't know how to tell you this, but I feel like Malfoy is going to tell his dad about what just happened.
Fuck.
Yeah.
See, that's why fuck that guy. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
I cannot wait
Just
for
ruins
Malfoy
everything.
to just continually get his comeuppance as this series goes. It's fantastic. With that happening to Malfoy, obviously, that's kind of going to end the class a little early. So the trio heads back up to Gryffindor Tower, and they're talking about not a great first sesh for Hagrid. And they get to dinner, and of course they see that no Hagrid. That's not good. They were hoping to see
Yeah.
Hagrid at dinner.
He probably got chewed out, or he's bummed out. He doesn't want to, it didn't go well.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That's what the trio think. All the way through dinner, they head back up to the tower, and they finally see that there is a light on in Hagrid's hut,
Good.
which is good.
Yeah.
At least he's home.
But Hermione mentions that maybe they shouldn't go because, the whole, hey, Harry, there's a serial killer that escaped from Azkaban,
yeah.
and he might be out to get you. So maybe we shouldn't go out into the grounds at night when we're not supposed to.
Oh, this is what we were specifically warned against doing in, what was it, chapter 3 or 4?
Yeah.
Harry, don't go looking for him, but don't do what you do, Harry. Knock it off.
How lucky would Sirius feel, though, if he just, stumbled upon me in the middle of the dark? Right? Let's give him a gift.
Yeah, that would be quite nice. But obviously, so they consider this, and they come to the absolute reasonable solution of, yeah, of course they're going to go.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Hagrid.
Yeah, it is Hagrid. I mean, come on. They head down to Hagrid's hut, and they open the door, and they find out Hagrid has been drinking.
As you do.
As
Love
you
it.
After a bad day at work.
Look, let's be honest. Who hasn't been in this exact, well, maybe not this exact situation, but yeah, bad day at work. I'm going to have a little drink.
Bad first day at work.
I'm going to have a little drink.
I'm going to have a little, 5 drinks.
Yeah. Well, he tells our fabulous friends that Madame Pomfrey fixed Malfoy right up. He has not been fired. Everything is mostly going to be fine. And the trio even offer, hey, Hagrid, look, if anything happens, we were there. We will testify on your
we got
behalf.
you as backup. We know what happened.
Yeah. And Hagrid gives them a big old hug. He's starting to feel better. And Hermione says, why don't we go get you sobered up? And they leave the hut.
Meh.
They leave the hut, and then there is a giant splashing noise. And it turns out Hagrid went out and just dunked his head in a giant barrel of water.
Yeah. Cold water remedy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it was good for him because he's just this giant, drunk, blubbering mess to 13-year-old. He needed to go out and get some reality back in his life.
Yeah.
I forgot about the 13-year-old part. I was just
Yeah.
he's sad drunk, so let's sober up.
These are his
he's
friends.
a sad drunk adult that's
But
with 13-year-old children.
Yeah.
And a teacher and a figure of
Yeah,
authority.
this is
to
a
these
problematic
kids.
scenario.
Yeah.
It's not his fault. He was in his own goddamn house,
Yeah,
right?
context
We're not
matters.
gonna fault Hagrid for wanting a drink after a bad day.
Yeah.
But
Context
also,
matters. Yeah.
Probably should not ever be fall aparty drunk around children.
Yeah, he needed to go splash his face with some water.
Well, he does. He splashes his face. He comes back into the hut. It kind of feels like that he's seeing Harry for the first time
Yeah.
since they came into the hut.
He just that's what I'm saying. He went, fuck.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happens because he tells them they are not to do any more nighttime visits. He marches them back up to school and says that they need to be better than this because I'm not worth that. Which is oh, Hagrid, my guy. Yes, you are.
2 points here about Hagrid and what he has to say. Point 1, quit fucking around and sneaking around the grounds of school. You've been warned multiple times by multiple people. This is not something that you can just ignore and do what you've done for the last couple of years. Harry, you got to fucking mind this time, okay?
Mhm.
I'm drunk as shit blubbering because I had a really bad first day at work, and I'm more concerned about the fact that you are out here at my house than my bad day. So that should tell you something.
Well, there's a serial killer, and they can't be
Yes.
getting in trouble at school.
I guess that's what it
know?
was. It's the importance that Harry fucking mind what he's been told this year.
Yeah. This is not Hagrid getting mad because they're breaking school rules. This is Hagrid getting mad because, Harry, there is a non-zero chance that you are in mortal danger if you break rules like going out after dark.
I remembered what the second thing was.
Oh, go ahead.
Hagrid has a history of suddenly realizing important things, right? Because he tends to forget.
You mean I shouldn't have said that.
Right, exactly. So that he's having this realization now means it is something important.
Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't matter, it's the blah, blah, blah. You've been told a million times, don't go getting into trouble. It's Hagrid's going, oh, wait, what the fuck are you doing here? That means that something behind the scenes is really big and you need to pay attention. Hagrid just gave it away without giving it away again. He's the king.
I was going to say, this almost perfectly mirrors their first class and their last class of the day, because Trelawney made all these predictions that are maybe, blah, blah, blah. Hagrid goes, stop fucking around or something bad might happen to you, Harry. But the reason he's saying that is because it's happened. Harry has fucked around and found out a few times now.
Yeah.
Multiple times a year at this point.
Yeah.
And he goes, no. So it's he kind of makes a prediction of his own, but it's more threatening and more truthful.
Yes.
Well,
I believe Hagrid more than Trelawney if
here-
Hagrid says, you're in danger.
Here's the other thing. On top of Harry, there's the real chance of him being in danger. There's a real chance of them getting in trouble at school. I also think that there's a certain level of Hagrid just got a job that's already in danger. And he was probably talked to at some point, or he should have been talked to at some point
Oh, yeah.
about, hey, you and these kids, you're close, okay? You're an employee of the school. It's already a little weird. It's fine, but you cannot be encouraging, especially this year, considering what's going on, you cannot be encouraging Harry to come down to your hut and be fucking around all the time.
Oh, Dumbledore has pulled him aside
right,
for sure.
you need to be a voice of reason for these children this year.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe that's part of it. Like, you
Yeah.
just remembered, oh, fuck, I am not your friend all the time. I have to be an adult and steer you in the right direction.
I absolutely agree that there was 100% Dumbledore came down, they had some tea and brandy, and Dumbledore was like, Hagrid, I am not telling you to not be their friend. You need to be Harry's friend. But you need to look out for Harry this year. You need to be on your P's and Q's because I know he's going to come visit you. He's done it every year.
Yeah.
The little fucker doesn't think I can see him when he's under that little invisibility cloak. I know where he's at. I know what he gets up to. He's going to come visit you. Keep him in the castle, please, Hagrid.
Yeah. I'm Dumbledore. I'm going to catch him.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And of course, Hagrid respects the fuck out of Dumbledore. So of course he's going to do it.
Well, the conversation would be, Hagrid, I know you have a special interest in these few students' lives, and that is a good thing. We want to encourage that. But also, you should have that same interest in every student's life, which means
it's gonna be weird if
that,
shit happens.
yes, you can act as their
that
friend,
too.
but you're a figurehead. You're
Yeah.
a teacher here to
Yeah.
multiple students. And that being the case, you have to be able to be the teacher. Like you said, good morals, pointing them in the right direction, helping, giving support, but like as a installation of this school.
Yeah, you
That's
cannot,
what we're paying you
you
to
cannot
do.
be enabling them to be
Yeah.
sneaking out after dark. That's
Yeah.
not something you can do at this point anymore.
Yeah, like always do that, but especially this year.
Yeah.
You have to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's it for us. That is the end of chapter 6.
I really, really enjoyed this one. I like Malfoy being an extra big dick. This whole, just always a constant presence, the pressure of being in school and just fucking hate that guy. Every time he's in a room with you, you're
Yeah.
just irritated automatically.
And he gets physically harmed.
And and he gets hurt,
Love-
so he
love
gets
that
what's
part.
coming to
Yeah.
him just a little.
Love-
Mentally remembering
that
that
part.
forever.
Yeah. That one's going in the mind bag.
Yep.
I'm going to see you get hurt forever. That's not creepy.
If I had a cell phone,
Oh, well, hey, thank you very, very much for listening. If you wanted to let us know what you thought of this episode, you can grab a quill or, probably your computer and send a scroll by owl to podcastatt@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Facebook to get all of our extra updates and other updates of other kinds.
Well, maybe like a video. Maybe like a video of us opening up a present.
Yes, that's right.
That was a
We've got
little while
video
ago
going up.
now, but we post some extra stuff like that on there.
You can also go to patreon.com/podcastatt, where, we post these episodes without ads. We do side quests, side spells. We're coming up with a better name, but,
We do
it's,
more things.
More things there.
Yeah.
and stuff.
We play games. We do watch-alongs. We do live episodes. It's fucking great. And, short of that, you can also just make sure to like and subscribe so you get more of these episodes. Thank you all very, very much for listening, and we'll see you real soon.
Hey, you all, you're worth it. Bye.